Hi, this is Randy from Friday's Golf, and welcome to Hard Boiled, the segment where I sit on an ugly couch and give you my first impression on new-ish golf equipment in the market. Now, today's piece of equipment is the Nikon CoolShot Pro Stabilized. Yes, it's a mouthful, and we'll get to the name later on, but first and foremost, I just want to open up the box and show you guys what's inside. Top here we have the warranty, which would protect it from any manufacturer defects or materials or craftsmanship, but it does exclude products that are subject to abuse, misuse, neglect, alteration, abnormal use, or accident. So basically it covers nothing. Diving a bit deeper, we have the rangefinder unit itself here. Now the CoolShot Pro, my first impression when pulling it out of the box is it does feel a little small. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because for me it feels perfect. Ergonomically, you know, everything feels right, it fits well in my hand, but I could see if you had a little bit larger hand that might be a little uncomfortable. But I'll get to more of the design and the actual unit itself later in the review. Let's keep looking in the box. Why did they do this? How? Does this even open? I can see stuff. I'm just tearing. Okay, we have the pouch with a tether and a little carabiner here on the back of the unit. Looks like a little Velcro, belt clip kind of thing there that you could clip onto your bag. The unit itself fits nicely inside there. It's got a little kind of, I'm not gonna lie, this feels really cheap compared to other laser rangefinders out there. This does not feel like like, you see how easy that button pops up? It doesn't feel like it fastens very tightly there. I feel like if you were riding in a cart and you hit a bump, like that would fly open and your rangefinder would fly out. Let's just test that now. Okay, driving in a car. Bump. See. I will say that when you open the box, you are greeted by this monstrosity here, which is the manual. You see how thick that is there? Now don't be intimidated, because I believe it's actually 14 different languages that are inside of here. So if you are buying this from outside the United States and English is not your first language, no worries, because Nikon has you covered. Okay, that's everything in the box. Now let's talk about the features and benefits of what makes the CoolShot Pro Stabilized the CoolShot Pro Stabilized. Horrible name. The device, as I stated earlier, is a little bit small. I feel like that could be improved on if they wouldn't have put this little battery nub here. This is actually where the battery goes. So when you unscrew this, battery pops out. It's easily accessible, which is nice, but the fact of the matter is you lose a lot of real estate right here at the end of the unit for someone with a larger hand. If you simply just made that smooth, put the battery back here like most of your rangefinders are, you'd have more room to grip it, and I think it would make it more efficient for everyone universally. Also on the back of the unit here, you have kind of your focal ring, which once again you see kind of standard in most anything optics nowadays, so you can kind of twist this. If you do wear glasses, most of the time people won't play with glasses on, so you can kind of adjust the focus. That way everything seems clear when you're looking through the optics. Nikon is claiming that this unit is waterproof, not water resistant, but waterproof, and I will test that later. Anytime that you have electronics outside, you're playing in the elements, it's always good to know that if it does start raining or this thing gets wet, that you're not going to fry anything and waste all the money that you spent on purchasing it. Now when it comes to these rangefinder reviews, typically I like to ignore the manual, because I truly believe that in this day and age that these products should be as intuitive as possible, meaning that when you pull it out of the box, anyone should be able to use the basic functions of this rangefinder. Now the CoolShot Pro has a feature called First Target Priority Algorithm, which is just a fancy way of saying pin seeker mode. Now I'm sorry to use your competition's phrasing, but Nikon, you gotta work on these names, man. Now this first target priority algorithm, which I'm not gonna say again, is basically when you shoot something such as a flag stick and you have maybe trees or a person or a golf cart in the background that it will also pick up, it will take that first target it hits. So it throws out kind of like a shotgun pattern, and as it picks up that flag stick, it knows that that's what you want to read and not the things off in the distance. And once it has locked on, it actually throws a green ring around the screen saying, hey, I saw the flag stick and this is the actual distance. I had mentioned battery earlier, but the battery that the CoolShot Pro runs off of is the lithium CR2 battery, which is pretty common in most rangefinders these days. They're pretty easy to find. I don't know how long it will power the unit for because I haven't had it that long, but in most cases, you can usually get a full season out of those, no problem. The CoolShot Pro also features a vivid display. I know that's, once again, stealing from Bushnell, but I don't know what to call it. It's the bright red numbers inside. You can change the brightness of it, but I didn't see where you could change it from red to black. And the only reason I mention that is because I saw with the Bushnell testing that when we were outside and it was really bright, that red was hard to pick up. I could be wrong. There could be something in this 96-page manual that says you can change it to black, but I was unable to find it. Now that we've talked about the features and benefits of the Nikon CoolShot Pro Stabilized, I do want to talk about probably the most important feature, and that's the stabilization. In the CoolShot Pro, you have a stabilized feature, which is what it is. When you hold the unit in your hand and you power it up, it actually stabilizes the image inside the unit. That way it takes out the small vibrations in your hand. Now this is a really cool feature because that's actually one of the #1 complaints when I worked in golf retail about laser rangefinders. I'm not sure how the stabilization affects the battery life. I'm sure it has to deplete it a little bit faster, but when you click the unit on, it actually turns the stabilizer on, and then when you're done using it, it turns it off. But if it does what it says it does and it stabilizes your image, I'll put 2 batteries into the year. I don't care. Luckily, I came upon a stretch of good weather. It's actually warm outside, so I want to take this outside and test each one of those features. Now, I say it's warm outside. It's not really warm. I mean, I still have to put a beard on. All right, we're out here at Beverly Hills Golf Course. I have the CoolShot Pro with me right here. We're going to test the accuracy of this unit, and you can see just off in the distance there the flag stick. I know that this T-station is about 112 yards away from that flag right now, but to test the accuracy against another rangefinder, I brought the Pro X2. Now, in case you haven't seen it, I actually did a review on the Bushnell rangefinders, and the Pro X2 just happened to be the most accurate, so I brought that out here today as like a benchmark to test the CoolShot Pro up against. So I'm just going to go ahead and shoot this flag stick right now with the Pro X2 and see what I get. 113 yards, which is pretty accurate. I'm at the back of the tee box here, so I'm going to now take the CoolShot Pro, shoot it again. 114 yards, so about a yard difference between the two. Typically they say that they're accurate plus or minus 1 yard, so we'll give them the benefit of a doubt and say that at the 112 yard range they're both shooting about the same distance. So the real test though I think is going to come when we move back a little bit farther. We got a bit more land back this way, so we're going to move the tee box back and shoot the flag again. So let's go. All right, so we've moved back quite a ways now. I'm going to first shoot it with the Bushnell, the Pro X2 here, see what I get. 183 yards, so we're going to switch over to the Nikon. 184 yards, so there we're seeing that plus minus 1 yard come into effect. Now since we're at this distance, there's another test that I want to run because of what the CoolShot Pro says it does is it stabilizes the image. And when you get out to this distance, that little movement in your hand can affect whether or not you're hitting the flag stick accurately. So I'm going to try the best I can to hold my cell phone up to the rangefinder here and try to help you see what I'm seeing, because when you look through here, it's a night and day difference as far as how much hand movement you get with the Pro X2 and how stable the CoolShot Pro is. So I'm going to try to show you that now. I'll try. This is always so tough to try to get this to show up through here. And there's about what it looks like, and I think that's pretty accurate as far as trying to hit the flag, but you know, oh, I'm losing it. There we go. So 185. It buzzed in. Try it again. It's so hard, but you can see how shaky that is, and it's getting dark out. Shooting at 181, so this is actually a good low light test as well. But the main thing I wanted to show you there was how shaky that image is. Now I'm going to switch over to the CoolShot Pro, and hopefully I can show you a difference, because visibly when you're holding it, there is a difference, but I'm going to see if I can capture that now. Okay, get that center. Okay, so it's shaky now, but there. $183.5. Same number. Did you guys see that? Did you see how still that image was? And me holding this up to the rangefinder doesn't do it justice, because my camera, like here's me shaking my camera. It kind of flickers it and makes it look wobbly. But once we turn it on and engage it, look at that image lock in. 183.5. Look how still that is. That's crazy. So we're going to do that again. Watch this. And you can see it's shaky just like the other one, but as soon as I engage it, look how smooth that gets. 183.5. So it's shooting more accurate numbers, and it's also giving me better low light results. So if you find yourself playing at twilight a lot, I feel like the CoolShot Pro is going to give you the better results of between the two here. I was shaking quite a bit there because I have the unit, you don't shoot like this with it out here. You have it pressed up against your eye, so that helps stabilize it. So combined with that and the stabilization within the Nikon itself, that's pretty cool, actually, to be able to show you guys how rock steady that image was. But we have lost all the light, so I think it's time to head back to the ugly couch for final thoughts and conclusions. I'll see you back there. Welcome back to the ugly couch. Hopefully I was able to answer some of your questions about the slope, about the accuracy, about the stabilization. Real quickly, I want to go over the pros and cons of the unit. First, as I stated a couple of times, the size of the unit I think could be a problem for some people. Also, I had stated that the red display inside the unit I could see being problematic in really bright sunny conditions. The slope mode doesn't work that well, but then again, I've never really seen it work that well in any unit, and I don't really depend on it, so it's not that important to me. And my last major con, even though it's technically a pro, but it could potentially be a con, is the stabilization feature itself, because when you turn the unit on and it actually, you can feel the stabilizer engage, which is good because you know it's working, but I also know from basic mechanics that anything that makes noise has potential to break. Something I'm forgetting. Water test. This makes me nervous. I don't see any bubbles, so that's a good sign, right? Oh, I just saw bubbles. I'm gonna go test this outside. Worked just fine. The pros of this unit, however, I think personally outweigh the cons for me. It's accurate, it shoots well in low light, you have the stabilization feature itself, it's waterproof, it fits nice in my small hand. For me, I feel like this is a superior rangefinder to most of the equipment out there. It actually feels like new technology, and when you see the stabilization feature kick in as demonstrated in the video, it's kind of that like, oh, this is cool, this is new, this is something practical that I can actually use. This is gonna go in my bag immediately. Good job, Nikon, on the CoolShot Pro Stabilized. Not good job on naming it. So that wraps up this review on the CoolShot Pro. If you have any questions, please throw them down in the comment section below. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you later.